A very good morning to one and all here. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and esteemed participants, a very warm welcome to the International Students Conference on the Impact of Technology and AI for the Accounting Profession 2023. We are delighted to have you all here today at this remarkable event organized by the Students Guild of CMA, Knowledge Through Unity. Today, we gather here to celebrate the power of knowledge, cultural exchange, and global collaboration. To commence this momentous occasion, let us first extend a heartfelt welcome to all our local and foreign participants. Your presence here today signifies your commitment to expanding your knowledge and staying at the forefront of industry trends. As we gather here, we have the honor of welcoming our esteemed chief guests and the guest speakers whose insights and expertise will undoubtedly enrich our conference. Without further ado, to symbolize the auspicious beginning of this conference, we will now proceed with the lighting of the oil lamp, a tradition that signifies the dispelling of darkness and the illumination of knowledge. To light the oil lamp, we would like to invite our keynote speaker, Mr. Jehan Perin Banayagam, our President of CMA Sri Lanka, Professor Lakshman R. Watavala, Vice President of CMA Sri Lanka, Mr. Henayaka Bandara, the Council members of CMA, Acting CEO of CMA, the President of Students Guild CMA Sri Lanka, the Secretary of CMA Students Guild Sri Lanka, Manager of Students Affairs Division. We would also like to invite each representative from the respective institute to light the lamp. We would like to invite one representative from each institute. Followingly, we kindly request everyone to rise for the Sri Lankan national anthem and for the CMA anthem.
Sri Lanka Mata, Apa Sri Lanka, Namo 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 Mata, Sundara Sivarini, Surani Ati Sobhamana Lanka, Ranya Ganaya Mekamal Valaturu Iri Jaya Bhumiya Ranya, Apa Hatta Sapa Siri Setta Sadhana, Jivanaye Mata, Vilikanu Mena Apa Bhakti Puja, Namo Namo Mata, Apa Sri Lanka, Namo 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 Mata, Obame Apa Vidya, Obamaya Apa Satya, Obame Apa Shanti, Apa Hada Tula Bhakti, Apa Aloke, Apa Ge Anuprane, Oba Apa Jivanane, Apa Muktiya Obame, Nava Jivana Dimini, Likina Apa Kubudu Karan Mata, ඥාන පීඩ වඩවමින රැගෙන යනු මැන ජය භූමි කරා, එක මවකගේ දරු කැළඹැදිනා, යමු යමු වී නොපමා, ප්‍රේම වඩා සැනවේද දුරලයා, නමෝ නමෝ මාතා, Apa Sri Lanka, Namo 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 Mata. CMA ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ ප්‍රමුඛ තේරීමයි නව තාක්ෂණික දැනුමින් පිරිපුන්ව ලොව දිනමින් ජය කනුව කරා පිය නගන සදා කලමනා කරන රණකාධිකාරි විශ්ව නිකේතනයයි CMA ශ්‍රී ලංකාவில் முதலிடம் பெறுதே அதிதொழில்நுட்பங்கள் கிடைக்கும் வென்றீர்கள் உலகத்தை வெற்றி பாதையில் தினமும் செல்வோம் முகமையாளர்களும் கணக்காளர்களும் உருவாகும் மத்தியஸ்தலம் CMA, the best in Sri Lanka, adopting international standards with technological advancement, management, accounting profession globally. Recognized is full of excellence on the path to victory. Tirasara Vatinakam Tirandagamin CMA.
Moving forward, we are privileged to have the president of the CMA Students Guild, Mr. Vagisha Veerasekara, to grace us with a welcome address. His words will set the tone for the conference and remind us the importance of embracing technological advancements in the accounting profession.
Good morning to everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests and fellow students. As the president of the Student Guild at the Institute of Certified Management Accountants of Sri Lanka, it is my utmost honor to privilege to extend a warm and heartful welcome to each one of you at the inaugural CMA International Student Conference 2023. This is an event of immense significance as we delve into the realm that shaping the future of our profession, the impact of technology and AI on the accounting profession. Today marks a remarkable milestone as we gathered for the very first time for explore this critical theme. The fusion of technology and artificial intelligence is revolutionizing the industries across the globe, and the accounting profession is no exception. Our conference promised to be a platform where ideas, insights, and expertise will converge, fostering profound discussions that will undoubtedly shape the path of our collective journey as aspiring accountants. I am delighted to inform you that we have the honor to the hosting of distinguished personalities whose contributions to our field are truly extemporary. We are fortunate to have Mr. Jahan Peripanayagam, the CEO of the Informate Private Limited and the chairman of Slascom, who will share his invaluable insight in the keynote address. Furthermore, we are privileged to welcome our chief guest, Professor Lakshman R. Vatavala, the founder president of CMA Sri Lanka, founder president of AAT Sri Lanka, past president of CA Sri Lanka, who will grace us with his wisdom and guidance. In addition, we have the privilege of hosting Mr. Hennayaka Bandara, Vice President of CMA Sri Lanka and immediate past President of SAFA. Your presence honors us greatly, sir. To the Governing Council members of Sri Lanka, we appreciate your presence and unwavering commitment to the growth and development of our institution. A warm welcome extended to all our esteemed guests who have joined us from various institutions and organizations. To Mr. Ruchira Pereira, the chairman, members, PAIB, CPD, and Student Activities and Entrepreneurship Committee, we express our gratitude for your support and encouragement. A special welcome is extended to our distinguished speakers who have graciously accepted our invitations to share their knowledge and insight. Your contribution will undoubtedly enrich our conference proceeding. To the directors from CMA Sri Lanka, your presence is an embodiment for the continuous support and mentorship you provide to our endeavor. A warm welcome to resonate with the students who have traveled from the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nepal, the Institute of Cost Accountants of India, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, the Institute of Cost Management Accountants of Bangladesh, and the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka. Your participation enriched the diversity of perspective that this conference strives upon. Lastly, I extend a heartfelt welcome to the members of CMA Sri Lanka Student Guild who have dedicated continuous hours, effort, and passion to bring this event a fruition. Your dedication is testament to your commitment to our shared vision. As we embark on this journey of knowledge, knowledge sharing, and explanation. Let us embrace the opportunities that lies ahead. I encourage all of you to actively participate in in the discussions, engage with the fellow attendees, and make the most of this unique learning experience. Beyond the enriching sessions that await us, we have also arranged an entertainment evening to conclude the conference, providing a well-deserved moment of relaxation and enjoyment. Let us pledge to make the most of our time here, to gain insights that will shape our future and forge connections that will last a lifetime. I implore each one of you to stay with us throughout the conference, absorbing every bit of wisdom and fostering connection that will shape the trajectory of your careers. Once again, a warm welcome to all. May this conference be a resounding success, and may our collective pursuit of knowledge light up the path toward a future empowered by technology and AI in the accounting profession. Thank you.
Thank you, Vagisha Veerasekara, for outlining today's conference. Professor Lakshman R. Vatavala. His dedication and commitment to the advancement of the accounting profession have been instrumental in shaping the landscape of finance and management in our country. As the president of CMA Sri Lanka, he has played a pivotal role in promoting excellence, ethical practices, and innovation among accounting professionals. Today, we are honored to have Professor Vatavala to grace this occasion with his esteemed presence. Without any delay, please join me in extending a warm welcome to Professor Lakshman R. Vatavala, the President of CMA Sri Lanka, to address this gathering officially.
Good morning to all of you. In fact, we are very happy to see all our students, not only in Sri Lanka, but also in the South Asian region, present here at this very excellent conference that has been organized by our students. Our keynote speaker, Mr. Jehan Perimpanagam, the president of SLASCOM and also the chairman of CEO Informate Private Limited, the vice president, Mr. Hennayaka Bandara, our council members, especially I should mention the name of Mr. Ruchira Pereira, who is the chairman of the Members Affairs Committee, our other members, Mr. Gajendra and Mr. Asanga and others who are present, the directors of CMA, our acting CEO, Mr. Kosala, the visiting delegates from the SAFA countries. I know that we have delegates from India, Bangladesh, Nepal, and of course our own Sri Lankan bodies. And my dear students, it is indeed a very happy occasion for us, for CMA, to host this International Students Conference 2023. This is a topic that has been spoken of many times at SAFA. SAFA is the South Asian Federation of Accountants, that we should not only serve the members, but we should serve the students. So I'm very happy that our council member, Mr. Ruchira Pereira, was able to take the initiative to organize this. I think it was in January that there was another conference that was held in Nepal. We were able to participate, and I think also Mr. Ruchira Pereira was there at this conference. I think it was also relating to the SAFA quiz competition and also the speech competition. So we are having very many events that are there, but today it is a very special day for all of us. And also you must know that we are in very pleasant surroundings. This is the auditorium of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, which is the real, I think, the head of all the banking institutions in Sri Lanka and the organization that is responsible for paving the way for the economic development of Sri Lanka. So we must thank them for making this available, because this is something which is very much recognized by CMA. CMA is Certified Management Accountants. If you really look at our students who are present here, you are present from chartered accounting bodies, you are present from management accounting bodies. So these are the two streams that we have in SAFA. And most of us are there in both streams. So all of you all must remember that if you are a chartered accountant, you need to also become a management accountant. If you are a management accountant, you also need to become a chartered accountant. Because if they work together, only the accountancy profession can succeed. Because I am telling this especially because of the theme of this conference, impact of technology and AI for accounting profession. Many of them say that the accounting profession will be one of the first professions to be affected. I think already it has been affected, but we need to see how we can adjust ourselves, how we can mold our students to overcome any threats that are there, but make use of the opportunities for us to overcome and also to beat any of the other professions that are there. So that's why this theme is of great importance, and I think we have very eminent speakers who will be touching on these topics. Of course, the commencement will be from the chairman of the SLASCOM. That's in Sri Lanka. We have all the IT companies that are there, and he is the leader of all these IT companies. I am saying that because our accounting profession is not a theory-based organization. It is really connected with the practical side. That is why professional accountants are successful. But today, for us to be successful, we need to use technology and AI. So that's what will be told to you at this conference, and I'm very happy that our students are present here, international students are present, because they are going to really gain quite a lot. I think many other students of CMA would not have known that this is closely connected with our new syllabus. We could not have a separate session with the students, but today is the day that you will know that what are the changes that we have made in our syllabus to suit what we are talking today. Technology and AI for the accounting profession. What do we call our theme of this syllabus? Equipping future accountants. You see, I think you may also be hearing this for the first time. We had a very grand opening. We had where we invited our members, maybe people from the private sector, the corporate sector, the government sector. But I don't think that we had the opportunity to speak to you all. But today, what we are doing is really something that you will know that you are going to fit into this area of technology and AI. What are we looking for a future-ready accountant? You have to be digitally enabled. Now, this conference is the main area. I must thank the students and, of course, Mr. Ruchira Pereira for choosing this topic, which is of great value not only to our students, but also to our members and of course the corporate sector. Then it should be value driven and solution savvy. So these are three important areas that are there in our syllabus that will mold our students, starting with the digitally enabled. Of course, as digitally enabled accountants, we have a separate pillar in our syllabus. We have what is called the skill stream. Two important areas which we have brought into the skill stream. One is, of course, the communication. Today, without communication, you can't do anything. The other one is technology. Now you can see how what we are talking today, most probably they may have not realized this, but I thought that I must tell you of what we have done to bring you to this level. Talking of technology, because definitely Mr. Jehan Perampanagam will tell you all about it. Our skill stream is not only just a theory one, it's a practical component. Because as I told you, professional accountants are not theory people. They are doers. They are people who can provide value not only to the organization, to the country, but also to your own self. So those are the important qualities that one has. So if you take the technology area, communications, now I must say that we are the only professional body that has made it compulsory that everyone at the final level should complete the Speechcraft program. That is a Toastmaster Speechcraft program consisting of 12 lessons where they have to complete it. And we can see that although many people come and tell us, if you ask them about communications and English, so I am the best. But when they come to that class, we can see their performance. The first day's performance and the final day's performance. On the final day, they are all clamoring to come to make a speech. The confidence that they have got. These are ways in which they can become leaders. How they can conduct themselves in their companies, in their organizations, how they can get together. Now, this is another one of teamwork. Now, today you are getting together is where its networking is concerned, getting together, working together. That's how you are able to improve yourself and do. So that has really helped. All the professional management accountants going through our body will be able to speak without fear. They don't have to shiver when they go for an interview. So those are the qualities that we embed in our professional accountants. I'm sure in all your bodies you all are having it, but I'm just telling you that these are essential. Then on the skill stream, the technology stream, because I was telling of communication, technology. You need the IT applications to be done. You have to be an expert on the Excel, which is very essential. Of course, you're always using maybe Word for your mail and everything. Today, we have to do away with maybe the paper, and also it's a low-cost solution. Then the data analytics, that's the most important thing. We have so much of data available. Ultimately, they do not know how to use it. But the digitalization will not only enable you to use it, but within a very short time, you will be able to get it. So time is of great importance. You can't wait for years and years. Today, everyone is looking for solutions. Solutions as fast as possible, which can come in. Then, of course, the digital tools. You need the digital tools for accountants. And of course, the advanced data analytics. Now you can see how we have framed our syllabus to meet the theme that we are talking of. Then of course our speakers will give you more details of these things. So you can see that the most important thing that you can talk of. Today, if you speak to any young person, they say, give me a qualification which will enable me to go abroad. You don't need to have a foreign qualification. Today, we are recognized by the International Federation of Accountants. All our member bodies in the SAFA region are recognized by the International Federation of Accountants. 180 bodies in 135 countries. Over 3 million accountants. So you are really going into that profession. You must think for yourself that you are one day going to be, not at that time it may be 4 million. You are going to be the next one who's going to join the profession. So I think the accounting profession is really some profession that you have joined. Then talking of the value driven, if you are unable to create value, I do not think you will be successful in any organization. Your employer will tell, here the door is open, you can please go from there. So you have to create value. But if you are digitally enabled, value creation would be easier, faster, and you will be able to see the results. So those are some of the important things. Then solution savvy. You are being trained. You are getting the competencies in order that you can give a solution. There are certain professions, maybe if you go to certain areas, they will say maybe come tomorrow. If you go to a government department, they say come tomorrow. No, but you have to give the solution immediately. Those are not easy solutions, complex solutions. So when you are digitally enabled, you will be able to create those things. So I think today, I'm very happy, this international conference, in an international maybe atmosphere, that's the most important thing. This is not a normal thing. Some of you all must have heard various things of Sri Lanka, but the professionals of this country are different from all the others. That's the area that you are going to. You have to work hard. You have to strive and achieve something. You should have your goals and aspirations. And the other thing is, do not think because we are a chartered accountant or management accountant, you have to ultimately be a professional accountant. I myself am a chartered accountant. I got the knowledge, the skills as a chartered accountant. I was able to lead the chartered accounting body. When I was 35 years, I was the president of the Institute of Chartered Accountants. When I was 37 years, I was the president of the South Asian Federation of Accountants. Now, these are the achievements that you all should have. You have to do it at a young age. Then only your parents, your wishes, I'm sure you can leap also, maybe get a either wife or a husband who will look after you and your career is going to be successful. So these are things that can be done. I can just tell one story about the chartered accountants. You see, I was talking of creating value. I think I might have been about 28, 29. I got an opportunity to, they said I had a committee called the Seminars and Conferences Committee. They said there is a conference. I said I also like to go. Then I got a little funding from them, not the whole thing. I went for a conference in Philippines, the Confederation of Asian and Pacific Accountants. When I came back, I was trying to see how I can create value. We've started the first conference at CA Sri Lanka. That was started by me as a young accountant. I got the support of all the others. Today, that is the major event in that institution. 3,000, 4,000 students attending. So you can see that these are really value driven. You must create value. Then our institute at that time, I was president, we didn't have a computer lab. I was then the chairman of the People's Bank, maybe the youngest chairman of People's Bank at 35. But I was able to tell the council, we want to buy. We want to set up a computer center. Then the institute, I was able to get a donor who was able to donate the computers. What happened? They all said, no, no, we must not accept any donations. We must use our own money. We looked at our balance sheet. At that time, we didn't have money even to buy one single computer. So ultimately, they accepted that, and the first computer center of the Chartered Institute was set up. So these are the things that we did not have a management accounting body in Sri Lanka. We didn't have an accounting technician body. I was president at that time. We took the initiative set up without a single cent. Chartered accountants didn't give me any money. I was able to collect the money. And today it has the largest student population, 40,000 students, 2,000 students passing out every year. So that was the AAT. Then we didn't have a management accounting body. What did we do? We set up the management accounting body. A lot of them said, don't set it up. SEMA will swallow you. SEMA will hit you. We will, well, no, we have to be national minded. You have to think of your own country. If you do this, you will have to, we will be nowhere. But I had the support of everyone. We launched it, and that is what we are now hosting this conference. The certified management accountants that we set up. We set it up. Later it was incorporated by an act of parliament. The government realized the importance of this, that this is required for this country, and then incorporated by an act of parliament. So you can see that we don't have to go to politicians, we don't have to go to anyone, we have to do things on our own. The message I want to give you is, don't you do everything on your own and you will be successful. You work with your team and then you can succeed. So let me once again thank everyone. I know that a lot of you have come from distant areas, some of them from the different countries. So I'm sure Mr. Ruchira Perera is going to look after them very well, and they will really, we care very much for you. We are a hospitable country. Today at the moment, the government is looking at tourism. In fact, now they say that you bring Indian currency, you can pay in Sri Lanka, and that is accepted. So there are, I'm sure that should happen in all our SAFA countries, where we can take our currency and then pay in your own country. So those are things that are there. I'm sure that there are a lot of changes that are taking place, but as professional accountants, we should have the competency, we should have the courage, we should be able to build ourselves to become professional accountants. And I wish that all of you would finish your exams. Our target is 200 management accountants in a year. 3,000 students, at least we will give them the training, and then that they can become accountants. So these are some of the targets. I'm sure our council members are here, our vice president here. They will all work towards this. Without having a target, without any goal, without the strategies that we have, we will never be successful. So let me once again thank the organizers, the students' organization. They have really played a major role. If not for their encouragement, I know the amount of hard work they have put in. That's a great encouragement, because they are getting the skills. They are preparing themselves to go to a higher level. And of course, led by Mr. Ruchira Perera, and I'm happy that in whatever way that we were able to help, there were other council members who supported. I'm sure that this will be a grand success. And once again, I wish you all the very best, and do hope that you will take happy memories with this conference. Thank you, and all the best.
Thank you so much, sir. We express our deepest appreciation to Professor Watavala for sharing his wisdom and experiences with us. His thought-provoking ideas and guidance will undoubtedly shape the minds of future management accountants. And now, it is my utmost pleasure to introduce our esteemed keynote speaker for today's morning, Mr. Jehan Perinbanayagam. Jehan Perinbanayagam is a fellow member of CMA, ACCA, and CIMA. He serves as CEO of Informate Private Limited and as Vice Chair of John Keels Holding PLC. His career spans 26 years in the industries, including transportation, leisure, and BPO. He presently serves as the Chairman of ACCA Sri Lanka and Chairman of SLASCOM. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to Mr. Jehan Perinbanayagam, Chairman of SLASCOM and CEO of Informate Private Limited.
Professor Vatawala, Ennayaka Bandara, Ruchira Pereira, members of the council, and my dear students. I'm absolutely privileged to be in your presence, and thank you very much for having me. It's an honor to speak to so many of Sri Lanka's top talent. And I was absolutely inspired by what Professor shared, particularly how as a young professional, the legacy and the impact that he made for our country. And we were just discussing about the new syllabus and the two areas that I had in mind, communication skills and technology. I was delighted to hear that these are the pillars of the new CMA syllabus. So I'm absolutely proud to be a fellow member of CMA myself. So my topic for today is on the impact of AI and technology on the accounting profession. So today there was a research that was done, and the question asked, what keeps finance professionals up in the night? What are you worried about? And number one was the impact of blockchain, AI, and automation. So there are other concerns like keeping up with technology, adapting to change. But number one was the impact of blockchain, AI, and automation on the accounting profession. ACCA did its own research, and 86% of those surveyed wanted more training and support on technology. They felt that they don't have enough skills. 42% felt overwhelmed by the pace of technological change. Now, this is nothing new. We have seen that is change happening over a period of time. The first generation ERPs delivered customized client requirements, SAP and Oracle and so on. Then you had the second generation going up to the fourth generation. And my experience of 26 years of working in the John Keel's group, in the first stage, it was all about accurate scorekeeping and bookkeeping. If we got that, we were happy. Companies used to close by the 10th or the 15th, and they were happy if they had accurate records. Next stage, they were looking at faster closure cycles. I remember Ceylon Cold Stores, one of the most complex manufacturing companies. They closed on the first working day of the month. Right? So faster closure cycles, and also focus on analysis, being able to understand the numbers. Then you had dashboards, online, the pressure for real-time information. Boards wanted dashboards on their iPads. As we speak, and I know in Keel Super, on a daily basis, they can see the footfall, how much each outlet was contributing in terms of revenue. So there was a demand for online real-time information. And now we are in an era where there is automation. And there is also forecasting, where CEOs are asking the finance professionals, what will happen in 1 month's time? What is the exchange rate going to be? What is going to happen in 1 year's time? What are the forecasts? So you can see the evolution, and these changes are happening at a record rate. Now, coming specifically to AI, now there's a lot of noise about AI. There is actually concern by some of the leading technology brains. Right? So you have the CEO of Google saying it can be very harmful if deployed wrongly. You have Elon Musk saying the pace of progress in artificial intelligence is incredibly fast. Unless you have direct exposure to groups like DeepMind, you have no idea how fast it is growing, and the pace is exponential. Risk of something seriously dangerous happening is in 5-year time frame is very high. And so when you have these sort of people being worried, we need to understand what all this about AI is. And you have Jeffrey Hinton, head of Google's brain research and winner of the Turing Award. He's saying the idea that this stuff could actually get smarter than people, a few people believe that. But today, most people thought it was way off and thought it was way off. I thought it was 30 to 50 years ago or even longer. I no longer think that. So you have these people who are involved in AI development worried about the pace of artificial intelligence. So there are two types of AI. There's general AI, which has reasoning and can handle many varied tasks. And then you have narrow AI, which is specific task focus. So you have AI, for instance, for the purposes of bank reconciliations or for the purposes of accounts payable. General AI is something that can handle many different activities. And AI, now let me give you some experience, some examples from what I have seen today happening in the real world, in my company and also other parts of the world. Now in bank recs, AI can suggest the best matches for your customers and suppliers. It can suggest expense accounts. So it will read the text and it can propose where the coding should go. And the system learns. Now, if you look at a simple system like Xero today, XERO, right? I always talk about this because it's one of the fastest growing cloud systems used widely in Australia, New Zealand, US, Canada, UK. Now, if you use the Xero bank reconciliations, it will propose who the customer is. And if you correct it and say, no, it should not be customer A, it should be customer B, the next time it sees that it has learned. So it is continuously becoming more accurate. Right? You have AI in audit. Today, in John Keel's group, you have a system called Forespin that is running. Now, previously, auditors will come once a year, look at a sample, and then look at some audit points. But this system looks at every transaction in seconds. And any outlier, it will look at 3 years data, and any unusual transaction, it will flag it with an email to the CEO. It will identify duplicates, any unusual transactions like a transaction posted on a Sunday. And the system learns based on feedback. Now, if I tell the system, my team are anyway working on the weekend, so that's not unusual, it will stop alerting that going forward. Right? So you can see it has looked at all the transactions over the last 3 years. There is one unusual transaction, very high, right, flagged in red. So today this system is being used in MAS, in John Keel's, and in several other systems. So it is in use today. And on the top, you can see an email alert that has been generated by Forespin saying that there was some vendor invoice of 195,000, which is unusual or unusually high. And also you have dashboards like this, which are circulated weekly. Then you have AI in accounts payable, used in conjunction with RPA. What is RPA? Robotic Process Automation. And today RPA is being used by several companies like MAS, Hydra Monies. MAS, I understand about 60% of the accounts payable happens without human intervention. Earlier, you need an army of people to account for invoices. Today, Keel Super, right? You know the supermarket. They have a project called Project Kane, where every supplier is working on digital invoices, and these invoices flow through electronically into SAP. The matching happens automatically. So it looks at the PO, compares all of that, and then posts it in the book. So zero human intervention. And now AI is being combined with RPA to have what's called intelligent automation or intelligent bots. And these can look at text. It can look at patterns. And based on that, it can propose cost centers and GL accounts. So it can read the invoice and post it. You have intelligent character recognition. So you can even read handwriting today. Then you have AI in analysis. Now this is real information that I took from my own transport costs over 12 months, and I uploaded it into ChatGPT-4. Right? And this was the analysis that came out. The transport that your company utilizes multiple providers, including PickMe, Kangaroo, and KDH Tours. Many of the transport providers exhibit significant fluctuations in costs month to month. PickMe costs showed varied fluctuations. including a substantial increase in June and a negative value in July. Kangaroo and kangaroo van costs appear to be more consistent. Right, now this I got in seconds. There appears to be a general upward trend in expenses over the year, particularly noticeable in both your Fort and Orion offices. This trend could indicate increasing energy consumption and rising energy costs. Right, this was on my electricity costs. So this is ChatGPT today, and these are improving daily. AI in analysis. In financial reporting, AI technologies can analyze large amounts of data to identify patterns and trends not visible to humans. Today, Professor spoke of data science. John Keels has the biggest data science project. It's called Project Octave. They're analyzing large amounts of data for companies like Union Assurance, Keels Super. They're identifying buying patterns. They are identifying footfalls, who are their top 50 customers. When customers, that's why you get sometimes customized alerts to your mobile phone. So they're analyzing data. They say data is the new oil. And AI can help you identify financial performance, where it can be improved, leading to more improved decision making. Now it comes in AI in policy and process creation. Anyone done a policy manual or a process manual? Have you done a policy for your quality policy or done a policy for your transport, foreign travel? Anyone done that? Takes a long time to read and research and then write a document. Today you can do it in seconds on ChatGPT. We had an audit coming up and they were asking for a quality policy. So I quickly put it into ChatGPT and I got a quality policy. Very well written. So you can start using some of these tools to help you, right? As Professor said, speed is important, right? So these things are not perfect. It needs your intelligence, it needs your, but you can cover or you can cut down 80% of the time. Speed is important. So AI in expert information. Now, if you want to do Excel formulas, right, you can ask ChatGPT, give me the formula. If you want to know standards, right, you can ask AI, right? You want to know the tax rates in different countries, legal matters. Even the legal profession is being challenged. I asked some questions regarding some legal matters. I got some pretty decent answers, right? Even software coding, even the software guys are concerned because AI today can generate and give you coding that you would need. So it is an expert information provider as well. You must also, as finance professionals, know where AI can be used in business. So you can challenge your marketing team. Right? For instance, blog articles. Previously, we would hire blog writers. I found my marketing people generating good articles, right, using AI. Of course, there is a little bit last 10% you have to modify and you have to improve. You can design flyers today, very good flyers. You may not need to use professional graphic designers. You have chatbots to handle customer inquiries. A lot of websites, you go in there and you want to ask a basic query. It's a chatbot that talks to you and can respond to 80% of the questions. Right, so you need to start challenging your business people. Are you using AI in business? Are you using AI in operations? Right, so that I hopefully gave you some use cases of practical ways that AI is being used today. Right, but going forward, it's probably going to increase in scope. I was speaking to one of my colleagues in Slashcom, and his thought was that AI is the real thing. That AI in a few years could take 50% of the accounting roles. That was his forecast. Now, this technology is not perfect. The first thing is accuracy, right? Now, there are serious concerns about the accuracy of this information. Now, let me give you an example. I asked Thank you for the kind introduction. So I'm holding a privilege to hold some roles, but ChatGPT doesn't know that. Now I asked ChatGPT, who is Jehan Perimpanayaga? As to my last knowledge, I don't have any information about an individual named Jehan Perimpanayaga. It's possible that this person gained prominence or became relevant after my last update. They are not a public figure. Right? So this is just one example, but there are concerns about the accuracy of this information. Another friend of mine, his name is Rajiv, he asked who is Rajiv Alashas. He is the chairman of Maharaja Group, apparently. Wrong, right? Completely wrong information. But this information is still evolving, so you can't take this as gospel truth. You need to be mindful this accuracy is concerning. And people are also worried that it can be manipulated. Right? For instance, international actors, if they want to create false information, right? We went through COVID and there was a lot of false information about vaccines and things like that. Right? So people can deliberately create information because how this works, it goes and searches online and gets information. So you can actually train it to give false information. Can be manipulated. And also there is a need to regulate and control this information. People are worried, for instance, today operations are being done by robots, right? What if AI starts to think, and now it is starting to think on its own, if it starts to think that the best way to eliminate a disease is to get rid of all the people with that disease so that it won't spread. Now those are real concerns that people are having about AI, so you need to control it, right? And this is not what I am saying, this is what the tech giants are saying. So there is a need to regulate and control. So I'm just giving you the other side of AI that needs to be managed. So coming to some of the accounting functions that I studied, right? So now we come to this whole area of will technology and AI make accountants redundant, right? So these are some of the functions that I learned: trial balance, reconciliation of control accounts. I found it very difficult to understand this area. Reconciliation of control accounts, bank reconciliations, right? Generation of financial statements. You get a lot of satisfaction when you finally balance your balance sheet, right? Cash flow statements. These are things that I learned, but today, are these tasks done by humans? In most cases, not. Right? Today, it's just generated from your ERP system. So if you look at history, a lot of the accounting tasks have been automated. They are not going to be around for long. But have accountants been eliminated? No. Right? I remember in John Keel's when we implemented SAP, the deputy chairman of John Keel's asked our finance director Anusha Kumarasamy, what are we going to do, Anusha, with all these accountants? Because he thought the need for accountants will halve. Actually, that was not the case. The need for accountants increased. So today, world over, Australia, in different places, there is a huge demand for accountants. So the tasks will change. Some tasks will get eliminated. But I believe the need for accountants will not go away. Right? So that's the good news. I was listening to Keith Modder, who was the former CEO of Virtusa. And he said, AI will not take jobs. But what will happen is a human with AI will replace a human who is not using AI. So new tasks will come. Right? So if you look at the accounting pyramid, at the bottom you have transactional work, AP, bank recs. Middle tier you have management accounting, and the top tier you have risk, you have financial strategy. A lot of those things I saw in the CMA syllabus. So the transactional work and the middle tier work, part of the middle tier work will get automated. Right? So we need to focus on reinventing the role and mastering new skills. And the accountant of the future is someone who draws insights from analysis and exercises judgment, who displays creativity in designing solutions to complex business scenarios, who demonstrates leadership, communication skills, and empathy to articulate and convince a board. So you will be the principal advisor to the CEO and to the board. Today, a lot of CEOs are from the finance profession. They are the ones who are advising the board. So you will be the principal advisor, and you should be able to tell a story behind the numbers. It's not just presenting a set of numbers. You need to explain what is the story behind it. Those are the new skills required. So I'm very glad that CMA has been pioneering this whole Toastmasters and speechcraft, because that I feel is the key skill that you will require in the future. Right? So ChatGPT, AI, RPA is going to automate some of the more repetitive tasks, bookkeeping, AP, bank recs. But someone is still required to tell the story behind the numbers, to give the forecast, saying this is where we are today. In 1 year, this is what is going to happen. And that AI can't replace. And I was talking to yesterday one of the top finance professionals in John Keels, and he was giving an example how he said of a wrong decision that was taken, because he said, we analyzed the numbers and we saw if you move to India, this is what is going to happen. Right? And he was saying, and what he said exactly happened. Right? So that forecasting ability, that ability to go under the numbers and predict, that skill will not go away, will not be replaced. So the technologies that you need to have an understanding: cloud computing, analytics and data science. Today, one of the hottest jobs. There is high-paying jobs. There are a lot of degree programs today. There are 4-month courses by universities on data science. Right? If you are good with statistics, becomes a great area to work on your next stage in your career. Information security, hugely important. Right? There are increasing cyber threats. You need to have, as Professor said, there is no excuse today for not knowing advanced Excel. We ask this in interviews. Do you know pivot tables? Do you know macros? You must have a good understanding of it. Power BI today, vital. And also in terms of mindsets, you have to be someone who works in an agile manner, deal with complexity, be a lifelong student, a master of communication, and someone who builds relationships. Right? When I started in John Keels 26 years ago, the finance people, no one liked them, right? There was constant fights between finance and marketing, finance and operations. Today, you can't be like that. The modern finance professional is someone who builds relationships, who understands business. Right, so this is ACCA's research on the future skills required, and they have called it the 7 quotients of the future accountant. Right? So they have talked about intelligence, creativity, digital skills, emotional intelligence, experience, vision, and technical and ethical skills. So I won't go into detail, but you can please, I would encourage you to go and read about the 7 quotients, because some very important material here. Emotional intelligence, right? So as a finance professional, you need to be someone who can work in teams, regulate and manage your own emotions, work with others, have vision, anticipate future trends, be someone who innovates. And finally, technical and ethical skills, right? Ethics, what to do, doing the right thing, advising the business on law and regulations. Now, this AI can't replace. And one of the reasons for this terrible calamity that came 1 year ago, thankfully we are on the way up, is because some of the professionals who were in places of authority compromised on some of their professional values and failed to discharge their professional duty of care and advise the president in terms of what was happening. So remember, as professionals, we have high standards, high ethical standards that we must adhere to. Fraud and error detection, stakeholder management, CSR and integrated reporting, another area that I saw in your new syllabus. Today, ESG, the world is very, very concerned about the future of our planet. And it is accountants who must now record and advise the business on all things sustainability, ESG. Right? So in conclusion, I would really urge you to have an awareness of AI, what is happening in technology, read continuously, and start using some of these tools. Remember, accountant with AI will replace an accountant who is not using AI. So you need to have a very good awareness. Focus on future skills, particularly communication. Now the English language becomes even more important. If you're going to use ChatGPT properly, you need to be able to frame the questions in the right way. So English language becomes even more important, but you have a lot of good skills. You have CMA's Toastmasters program. You have other things like in DP education, they have an excellent IELTS program, which you can learn free, right? So you must set yourself a target to master. It's not our natural language. It's not our mother tongue, but we have to learn if we are going to remain relevant. Today, the BPM profession, including my own, we are looking at hiring several people. In my company alone, we hire about 300 accountants every year. Right? One of the things I hear most often from my recruitment managers is a lack of communication skills. Right? Fairly good technical skills, but not enough to work with a foreign client. So we need to address that. We need to get better at that, all of us. And finally, I would like to leave off where Professor was speaking about commitment to Sri Lanka. I was absolutely inspired by his story. I didn't realize at the young age of 35 that he was able to do so much. Each of you must aim to leave a legacy. I think now you ask Professor, he has left a legacy, started AAT, started CMA. Generations of students later will benefit. The country will benefit, right? So what will you do for your profession? What will you do? What will you contribute for Sri Lanka? All of us have something to do, and I believe we are born in this country at this time for a purpose. So we must aim to leave something behind and make a difference. So congratulations once again for organizing this very relevant topic. I wish you every success and my absolute respect to CMA for what you have done for the industry and for the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Today, actually, we have had the privilege of listening to an esteemed personality who has shed light on some of the most pressing issues faced by accounting professionals in today's dynamic business environment. It is with immense gratitude and admiration that we extend our heartfelt thanks to our keynote speaker, Mr. Jehan Perinbanayagam, for sharing his valuable insights and expertise with us. Moving forward, it is my honor to introduce our esteemed speaker for today, Mr. Henaika Bandara, Vice President of CMA Sri Lanka and immediate past President of SAFA. Mr. Bandara is a highly respected figure in the field of accounting and finance, and his contributions to the profession have been commendable. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to Mr. Henaika Bandara, Vice President of CMA Sri Lanka and immediate past President of SAFA.
Good morning to all of you. Kapil Lakshmanar Vatawala, founder president of CM Sri Lanka, our keynote speaker, members of the governing council, students from SAFA member bodies, students from CM Sri Lanka, eminent speakers, panelists, invitees, ladies and gentlemen, and once again, dear students. I am honored and delighted to be with you this morning to participate in the inauguration of the conference. The theme of the conference, Impact of Technology and AI for Accounting Profession, is both timely and relevant, and I must congratulate the chairman and the team for selecting such an excellent theme for deliberation. I also wish to mention that I had the opportunity of becoming the president of South Asian Federation of Accountants, representing CMA Sri Lanka for the first time. Our president, Kapil Lakshmanar Vatawala, was one of the signatories to the formation of SAFA, and in fact, he was the first vice president and became the president in 1985, representing CS Sri Lanka, when he was the president of CS Sri Lanka. I think he mentioned all those details all those details. I do not want to repeat the same again. The keynote speaker highlighted the current context of AI and its application. More importantly, he mentioned the impact on the accounting profession as well as future accountants. In other words, all of you. For the next few years, automation will alleviate many cumbersome processes such as transaction coding, routine management analysis and reporting, enabling accountants to focus on advisory services and other value-adding activities. Software applications, machinery and robotics are automating boring, complex, demanding and repetitive tasks and processes in many areas of business. They are often done cost effectively and with greater accuracy and reliability. While new technology can have so many benefits, businesses have to carefully evaluate whether such technology can provide solutions for practical problems within their enterprises. Collaboratively to identify, analyze and prioritize business challenges to be solved. You would agree with me that the profession of accountancy would be at the center stage and play a lead role in guiding the business entities and the policymakers. So this is one particular point highlighted by Professor Vatavala as well as our keynote speaker. I'm confident that our future accountants will not only think about accountancy as a rewarding profession, but will be persuaded to see the strategic importance of the profession to nation building, the excitement of working in different type of business environment. Once again, let me refer the statement made by the keynote speaker. He was very specific, even though there won't be any day-to-day activities to be undertaken by the accountants, the role of the accountants will not get changed. End of the day, the accountant has to be there. So you have the very good future to contribute for the betterment of your institute, the society, as well as the country as a whole. So with those remarks, I wish the conference all success. Thank you all. Have a good day, all of you.
Thank you so much, sir, for providing us with valuable perspectives on the impact of technology and AI in the accounting field. Now, we also have the privilege of hosting a special guest, Mr. R.M.N.G. Vanta, DGM of International Treasury of Bank of Ceylon, the principal sponsor of CMA International Students Conference, whose insights and experiences will provide a unique perspective on the impact of technology and AI in the accounting field. I warmly welcome him to the stage, please.
Chairman or President of CMA and Vice President Mr. Hinanaka Bandara and the members of Council and distinguished gatherings here and my dear students. So we just listened to a very inspiring speech by Mr. Jahan. So we were actually frightening whether this profession is survive in future. But Mr. Hinanaka Bandara said, don't worry, accountants must be there. So technology has evaded all the professions in the world. So the technology has done a remarkable changes in everywhere. In Sri Lanka, even a small country they're living, so much changes, so many changes has evolved through technology. And I'm privileged to be here on the invitation of especially my colleague Ruchira Pereira, being the sponsor for this student convention. Bank of Ceylon has been helping, providing sponsorship to bring this profession to a great heights, especially with Mr. Professor Lakshman Narwatavala. So we are very collaborative with him, and we are privileged to have insights and thoughts and everything with him, Bank of Ceylon and this CM institution. So we know that in Sri Lanka, we had multiple challenges over the last 4 years, especially from 2019. We had the Easter Sunday attack, then the COVID, then the economic crisis. Last year, we have announced the debt suspension. I can still remember when I was working in the bank at the Treasury, the day, 12th of April 2022, that was the day that Sri Lanka has announced their foreign debt suspension. We have never experienced this before. Bankruptcies was not relevant to Sri Lanka. We had many large number of foreign debts, local debts, but we have never defaulted anything. We have suspended it. So after that, up to today, if you go through the process we have gone through as a country, as people, Sri Lanka is remarkably, I can't explain the difficulties we have faced as a country, as people in Sri Lanka. But when you compare where we were at 2022 and now, we have significantly improved. We had 70% inflation. Now today we have at 6% inflation. We had interest rate at 30 to 32%. None of the business people were able to borrow and spend these borrowings for their operations and building of their whatever the businesses. But interest rates have come down drastically now. Today is going at 12%, 10%. Expecting in the future also interest rate to come down. We had negative GDP growth last year. First quarter this year also we had negative 11%, but we are expecting this negative GDP growth to reduce to at least 2 to 3%. So the next year will be a remarkable year for Sri Lanka. So the domestic debt restructuring is finished now. We are expecting to finalize, especially the governor of central bank, to finalize the EDO. So we are expecting the second tranche of IMF bailout package somewhere in October. So I think Sri Lanka is in a better position now compared to where we had. So the relevant to this topic, so I'm working in a service organization, Sri Lanka's largest bank, Bank of Ceylon, in asset base, in deposit base, in loans and loans and advances. So we are the largest. So when you declare the suspension, so we were hit badly. We had the largest dollar portfolio. We had the largest inward remittances market share in Sri Lanka. So all these remittances dried out, nothing. And even we couldn't go to international market and borrow like Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka couldn't go to international market, raise funding, similar to banking sector in Sri Lanka. Any banks in Sri Lanka were not able to raise their funding. So how did we survive? You know, when you want to apply, when you want to make a payment to outside for your student registration or student payments or whatever, it was very difficult at that time to make this payment. So we didn't have much dollars. All the banking system didn't have much. Only thing we survived through remittances and the export proceeds. That was the main two sources to Sri Lanka to get foreign currency inflows, so other than the borrowings. But borrowing, of course, completely died. So the remittances, what happened? Very few people sending money to Sri Lanka. Various problems. I don't want to mention anything. And the exporters also didn't bring money to Sri Lanka. And the central bank put a condition. Now, they are subject to 100% conversion. They'll have to convert 100% the export proceeds to Sri Lankan rupees. similar to India. So the various things we had to, central bank had to, or the Minister of Finance had to bring forward. Now, central bank or the government Minister of Finance has relaxed everything except the importation of vehicles. I think we are in a comfortable position now. If you take banking sector, these days, dollars liquidity is plus. Any banks, you go to any bank and you can have dollar, whatever the amount you're willing to take at a very lower level. Go to rupee liquidity, it's plus now. Some banks have no place to place their US dollar currencies now. This is the reality. Think about the days we had last year by this. So by this time last year, many banks had to defer their dollar payments because of the entire dollars. LC, you can't actually refrain from honoring LCs. So basically it's a liability to bank to make this LC payment. Otherwise the bank will basically blacklisted. Some banks, of course, Sri Lanka, had to defer this payment, especially the LC payments. But ultimately, by end of last year, we were the only bank badly hit, but we were the first bank to come out this crisis situation, especially because of the people who are working abroad, expatriates. The quite number of people again started to send money to Sri Lanka. So we know that the amount of increase of inward remittances to Sri Lanka now. So since we have the largest market share, so we are actually giving maximum benefit to these people. So I think you have a better future now, as Professor and other speakers also mentioned about that. You are in a very good profession, and you are the cream of this country. So you have a long way to go. So the accountant is a very, very recognized profession in Sri Lanka, but I don't know how this technology, when the technology evaded you all, how to survive. You'll have to do something more. Now in banks also, we're actually using this AI mechanism now to evaluate the credit proposals. Very minimal manual intervention. When you think about the previous days, when you go to the board meeting, when you go to the management meetings, you carry pile of papers. Now you don't carry now. It's a paperless society now. Even any banks, any organization, as Mr. Jahan very correctly said, yes, that's the transformation we have undergoing. So you only take the tab. So everything is uploaded there. No papers, nothing. And you must have seen banks are not opening branches now. They don't open branches. Why do you want to open branches? Not necessary. There are people who come to branches and have this physical touch, true. But otherwise, if you have a smartphone with you, you know better than me. You don't know to, I think some people have not visited bank even one day. Without going to the bank, you can open an account at home by using your smartphones. So the technology has completely changed everything. So the banking sector, you have to adapt it very quickly, otherwise no survival. It's a service organization. You know the differentiation you have to make through service organization, then only you are through to the highest. Otherwise, you will fail and you will basically go off this competition. So we are using, all the banks, they're using this technology, different percentages, and even you don't go to the branches, as I told you, you can do everything, all the bank transaction through your mobile phone. So then utility payment, you don't know to go to the branch, you can do it to your mobile phone. All the banks have app introduced. Everything is in your hand now. So the banking branches concept is basically outdated. It's dying now. It's basically dying. And since we are the largest inward remittances to Sri Lanka, we have a 44% market share. 44% people, the majority of expatriates who are working abroad sending money to Sri Lanka through Bank of Ceylon. So we are going to introduce a new app. Wherever you are, now you know, we don't get much remittances from America and Canada and all these countries. But we are majority are getting South Korea and Middle East countries. We are going to introduce an app wherever you are by logging to by basically downloading the app, and wherever you are, you can send remittances to your account. Wherever, it doesn't need to, you have an account in Bank of Ceylon itself, but wherever you have account in Sri Lanka, we are going to introduce an app to send money to this account. So it's a remarkable achievement. We are going to have it, and we will be launching very soon. We have completed 84 years recently. The bank is basically started at 1939. So we have a long history. But I congratulate you. I know that there are some international students also. And we were having a discussion with, I had a discussion with Ruchir also, the amount he has placed, the effort he has placed put to bring this event success. So I wish you all the very best, especially the Professor Vatavela and the Vice President Mr. Hinanak Bandara and the other council members for their tiring effort they have made to take this accounting profession to greater heights. So we as a bank, State Bank in Sri Lanka, we are always with you, and wherever, whatever the requirement, whatever the needs, you tell us, we are there. And as we also given opportunity to work as 300 audit trainees. We have recently recruited 300 audit trainees for the completion of their audit requirements. When you're doing the professional exam, you need to have a practical experience also. We are doing it, we are giving them. And we have recruited number of chartered accountants and also CMA accountants. We are ready to take this challenge also. Since the cream is here in this country, so I request you to do something to the country as well. You know, the youth migration has immensely happening, but I request we don't say not to go, but you have a liability, you have a responsibility to do something to this country also. We all are educated through pre-education. So we have a huge problem, not only Bank of Ceylon, but other banks also, other industries also. All the professionals are migrating. But since I'm just requesting you, I have seen the growth, the percentage of migration has increased significantly these days. We know the problems, understood. But my request is to at least do something to the country also. So I congratulate finally. Thank you for having me. Thank you for the invitation, Ruchira. Thank you for the invitation, Professor. And I'm really privileged to have this Bank of Ceylon to have a sponsorship also this event. So I wish you all the best and a success, this very successful day ahead. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for reminding us the importance of embracing the impact of technology and AI in financial market and banking system in the context of Sri Lanka. Now, we are in the edge of opening ceremony at International Students Conference 2023, the impact of technology and AI for accounting profession. Before we conclude, we would like to express our gratitude to our keynote speaker and the principal sponsor of our Students International Conference. To present the token of appreciation, I invite Professor Lakshman R. Vatavela to the stage, please. Along with our professor, I would also like to invite the council members of CMA to join to present the token of appreciation. I would also like to invite the president of CMA Students Guild to join to present the token of appreciation, Mr. Wagisha Veerasekara. To receive the token of appreciation, I invite our keynote speaker, Mr. Jehan Perin Banayagam, Chairman of SLESCOM and CEO of Informate Private Limited. Thank you, sir. Next, I would like to invite Mr. R.M.N. Jivanta, the DGM of International Treasury of Bank of Ceylon, the principal sponsor of CMA International Students Conference 2023. Thank you, sir. Before we conclude the opening ceremony, let us express our gratitude to all the individuals and invitees who have contributed to the success of today's conference. A heartfelt word of thanks will be delivered to acknowledge their efforts and dedication by the Secretary of CMA Students Guild, Ms. Satmini Soisa.
As we come to the end of the opening ceremony of CMA International Student, I would like to take this opportunity to express our gratitude and guest participants and everyone who has made this event possible. First and foremost, our appreciation to Professor Lakshman R. Vatawala, President of CMA Sri Lanka, for being the chief guest today. More than that, thank you, sir, for creating the platform for CMA students, enhance our skills by providing opportunity to conduct International Student Conference, and we are really grateful to the guidance given throughout of the period. A special note of appreciation goes to our keynote speaker, Mr. Jehan Perimbanayagam, Chairman of SLASCOM and CEO of Informate Private Limited. Your presence here has added immense value to this conference. We would like to extend our thanks for Mr. Hennaika Bandara, our Vice President of CMA Sri Lanka and immediate past President of SAFA for this enlightening address. Your wealth and experience and knowledge have undoubtedly inspired us all. A special thank to our special guest in Bank of Ceylon, whose presence has made this event even more memorable. Your words of wisdom and encouragement has left a lasting impact on all of us. We would like to thank our local and foreign participants for their presence here today. Your enthusiasm and commitment to the accounting profession and the impact of technology and AI truly comparable. We hope that this conference will provide a platform for enlightful discussions and fruitful exchange of ideas. I would also like to express our gratitude to organizing committee, volunteers, and all of behind the scenes individuals who have worked tirelessly to ensure the smooth execution of this conference. Your dedication and hard work are truly appreciated. Lastly, I would like to thank each and every one of you, the participants, of your activity, engagement, and enthusiasm throughout this opening ceremony. Your presence here today sets the stage for an exciting and productive conference ahead. Now, I invite all of you to take a well-deserved break and enjoy the refreshments that have been arranged for you. Let this be time to network, exchange ideas, and build connection with fellow participants. Once again, thank you all for joining with us, and we look forward and enriching and success CMA International Student Conference 2023. Thank you and enjoy your snack break.
Thank you so much for the vote of thanks. Now it's time to take a short break and enjoy some snacks. We encourage you all to network, engage in conversations, and forge new connections during this time. Please be mindful of the schedule as we reconvene of the subsequent sessions. Once again, a very warm welcome to the CM International Students Conference 2023. Let us embrace the power of technology and AI as we explore the future of the accounting profession. Thank you.